Excuse me. Excuse me again. Big up, everybody, and welcome to your Michael Carrick press conference reaction show. Big up to all your legends who are live and locked in already this evening. Much appreciated. Now, we are going to be reacting to Michael Carrick's press conference in the Newcastle United game. And I tell you what, I'm glad I delayed the start time now because the time I was due to go live, they just released part two of the press conference. So we can do part one and part two in this stream. So that's great news, guys. That really is. But big up to all your legends who are live and locked in this evening. Much appreciated. Now, if you are new to our YouTube channel, why not consider hitting the subscribe button, as I upload plenty of Manchester United content on this YouTube channel. I also upload F1 content as well. And please do subscribe to my second channel, Mr. Joshy J Football channel. Link is in the title. It's also in the description. And Qualja's also put it in the live chat as well. So big up to him. And if you wish to become a YouTube channel member today, you can find all the information pinned on top of the live chat. And it's also in the description as well, people. Now, with the press conference reaction shows, if you're new to these, now, what I do with these press conference reaction shows, what I do is I listen to Michael Carrick in the background. I play it as audio only. I do not share the press conference on the screen. And please note, people, I've not listened to the press conference yet. So what you'll be hearing from me is a fresh reaction because we'll literally be reacting to it together. There we go. Downright Sardines in the building. Can we laugh at Liverpool? Can't beat the bottom side team. Not only did they fail to beat the bottom side team, but they lost. Wolves! Bottom of the table, Wolves! You're having a fucking laugh. Oh my goodness me. Dear me. Big up to you, Matty Plays Games. They are coming soon. I'll be doing them over on my extra channel. So if you're not subbed to my extra channel, please do. The link is in the description and it's also in the live chat as well. Big up to Quadja there, sharing my channels. Big up to you, mate. Make sure you subscribe to Quadja, people. Josh likes and subscribe all to Mr. Joshy J's channel. Yeah, I know. I'm laughing my ass off, Quadja. So funny, honestly. That. Oh, big up to Adam Partridge as well. Bash, big up, mate. Good evening. Thank you for joining me this evening, mate. Much appreciated. Liverpool, Adam Partridge, losing to Wolves. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. You know, I'm just shell shocked at that result. I mean, who on earth saw that one coming? Honestly. You okay, Josh? Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Adam. And apologies, Adam, that I got the day wrong with the press conference because I told you Michael Carrick was doing the press conference reaction on Monday. You're right, it's actually today, Tuesday, so I do apologise for that, mate. You know what they say, people? Accountability is the best ability, and I completely hold my hand up with that one. So, yeah, but it is what it is. You know, we all make mistakes, don't we? Are you looking forward to Sunday's Grand Prix? Yes, I am, you man, but I'm also a bit worried as well because what the drivers are saying about the new cars. You had a good day, Josh? Yes, I have had them, Partridge. Thanks, mate. Charlie Patrick is running, getting hyped, and what a brown envelope. Yep. I think it's coffee time. Yep, but that's what I'm drinking right now. Mug of decaffeinated coffee. You don't need to be sorry, Josh, mate. Oh, thank you, Adam Partridge, for your understanding, mate. Big up to you. But yeah, people, like I said, it's a good job I did delay the start time because Michael Carrick, part two in the press conference, uploaded at 10:30 p.m. and that's the time I was originally due to go live. So the half an hour delayed start has paid off because we can react now to part one and part two of the press conference. Yes, I do, Matty, play games, especially lattes. I do love lattes. They're very nice. But cup of tea's my favourite. I don't really want George Russell to win the championship because I'm not a fan of him. Make sure you're tuning in on Thursday down United Sporting at 9 p.m. because I'm on with Michael Chelsea FC and the other Michael's own. I'll be talking much more about it then. So, yeah, do join me for that, mate. I think they will have problems starting the race. I mean, yeah, get on the line because what you have to do now, Yuban, is you have to hold the revs and get a good launch off the line because if you don't, your car will go into anti-stall mode. Yes, Adam Partridge, absolutely I am, mate. I'm doing both. I'm doing Michael Carrick and Eddie Howe as always. We always react to the opposition manager as well because I'm always interested to hear what the opposition have to say. And yeah, so without further ado, people, let's get on and listen to the press conference. So, which one? We'll start off with parts one, obviously. Michael Carrick, we'll start off with him first. Big up to you, AFC, always. I know, crazy work, mate. Joshy J, big up Wolves, said, like, that we're getting relegated. Fighting laugh out loud fans. It's crazy. How on earth have they now won 2 in a row when they're about to get relegated? It's mad, mate. Yeah, I know. Apologies to Liverpool Prophet, by the way, he's listening. Big up to Prophet. Yeah, I got a lot of time for him, but I'm just laughing because I'm shell shocked that Liverpool lost that to Wolves. I know Liverpool aren't having the best of seasons, but losing to bottom of the table Wolves, it's just mad, people. It's crazy. Right, Michael Carrick, parts one. Here we go.
Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire went off on Sunday, whenever it was. Are they?
I agree, Yuan. Yeah, make sure you are subscribing to Profit to people and AFC always.
Got a bit of time to the game, and we'll just have to see how they feel. So we'll obviously give them every chance. I mean, is it kind of illness? Neither Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire went off on Sunday, whenever it was. Are they available for tomorrow?
Well, we're hoping so. We're working towards it. They weren't feeling too good, so we've still got a bit of time to the game, and we'll just have to see how they feel. So we'll obviously give them every chance.
I mean, is it kind of illness? Neither of them were injured or anything like that.
No, it wasn't injury. No, they just both of them weren't feeling too good. So yeah, it's one of them things really. But we'll just have to see how they are today and tomorrow morning.
Just in terms of the form of the team, which has obviously been outstanding. When you were here with Ollie, obviously the team did very well, and then there was a drop-off towards the end of the season. And when you were at Middlesbrough, you also did really well at the start, and then the results didn't match that at the end of the season. You didn't achieve what you wanted to. Is there any way of guarding against that?
Football's a tough game to get results anyway, so I think... yeah, of course, I learn, always learning and things that...
Yeah, I know, that could be a tricky time for you. That could be a tricky tie for you guys, AFC always. I'm not going to lie.
As you go through, and you could maybe have done a little bit different, done a little bit better.
Yes, Yuan, we are, mates, but I'm being super cautious, mate.
And not specifically at them times, just in general, really. So there's a lot of context and depends on the players, the group of players.
Buzzword, context.
What the games all look like, there's so many different things coming into it. I think it's not so much guarding against it. I think it's just living in the moment and staying in the moment and keep grounded, and down to earth in terms of understanding what it takes to win games. And I've said that since I kind of came here and not getting carried away. And we certainly won't get carried away. I think you got to feed off the confidence and, understand that runs of wins are hard to come by, but we're hungry for more for sure. And we need to try and make it as long as it can last and stay consistent.
Sorry to take you back to a subject that's been hot this weekend, grappling inside the penalty area, Michael. Has it gone too far, and do you think anything can be done about it? What can be done?
I think it's gone too far, yeah. I think it wasn't long ago where, we were kind of told that you couldn't really lay a hand on anybody in the box, and it was...
Joshy J, imagine if your club sacks Amarin sooner rather than later. Fair play to Carrick so far. I have to say, if he was sacked sooner, I reckon we would have been in a title race. And with one game a week, who knows? We may even won it. But, it's if, buts and maybes, isn't it? I just want to focus on getting in the top four, to be honest, and finishing third, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I know we're not going to win anything, which is nowhere near sustainable, because it's all about winning trophies at the end of the day, isn't it? And the fact that we're going 2 years in a row without a trophy is not good enough. It's unacceptable. It's nowhere near sustainable. Let's get it right.
It's going to be stamped kind of out and clamped down on. And it's crept in, it's gone stronger. I think obviously the success of set pieces, corners in particular, probably in terms of being able to put so many bodies close together, has made more teams do it because the success rate is so high, So it's understood.
Now, I've heard rumours next season they are bringing in a rule where if the goalkeeper is fouled and that, they're going to be retaking the corners or something, but because a lot of goalkeepers do get fouled these days. I hope Manchester United drop points. We could be 9 points ahead. We could be 9 points behind you if Chelsea does not beat Aston Villa. 9 points behind Villa as well. I think top 5 will be done if we don't win. I can't get over Man United being 15th last season. Josh Wright fuming about it still. Adam Partridge, I've not forgotten it. That made me so angry last season.
Understandable why there's so many teams trying it and doing it. But yeah, in terms of as a game and it doesn't feel that we've kind of got that balance right. So I don't know what is to do about it. It's not.
Like I said, the Manchester United people are far from perfect. We have a lot of work to do still. We're not perfect yet. We're not repaired yet. So this is why our fan base have got to really remain cautious. One game a week suits your club right now. If it makes sense next summer, fix your defensive midfield, you'll be up there. I have no doubts about it.
For me to decide.
But whether we actually lift that league title next season is another question. But it'd be nice if we're competing for it 100%.
Like that really, but in the meantime,
No, it's not Adam Partridge. It's nowhere near Manchester United standards.
You got to deal with what's in front of you, and if it's allowed, then you got to play to it.
And just on the game itself at Newcastle, you're obviously in confident mood now. You, the players, everything. The fans talk about Champions League qualification. It's very much in your own hands now, isn't it? You've got 10 games to go, and you've got to play the likes of Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool. That's a big plus for you, isn't it?
Yeah, again, not looking too far ahead in terms of the games and where we're trying to.
Exactly, just one game at a time, yeah? that's the way to go about things.
I think it's really important that we stay present and keep our minds on the job. It's an incredibly tough place to.
Absolutely, because any slip-ups, could be a disaster.
Go to get a result in Newcastle, been there many times and know it well. So we're fully aware of that. So I'm not really. We haven't had conversations about it. We're not looking too far ahead. We understand this where we are. I think it was a good step for us at the weekend there, and there'll obviously be a good boost that comes from that. Whether that's energy wise, whether that's confidence wise, and just total belief from it. But it doesn't mean that we can start ifs and buts further down the line.
Nope, Adam Martridge, we have a bit of a break coming up again.
I think we're in a good position and we've kind of earned it. Boys have earned it, and we've got to try and make the most of it from now on in.
Yeah. Michael, you now have the best form of any team in the league since you took over.
But obviously, with Manchester United not playing and the F1 starting up again this weekend, at least it gives you something to do.
Have you surprised yourself with what this team's achieved, given it's the same group of players that were here before?
I wouldn't use the word surprise. I think you always strive to win games, and as I've just said, understanding that it's difficult. But
it is tricky, winning games in football is never easy because even if you're playing the worst team in the league, they can just up the tempo just like that. So, yeah, you never know what to expect in the game of football, do you, people? I mean, let's get it right.
Again, not looking too far ahead, I think if you stay, every game's winnable. I think both teams will come into it and think the same thing. If you can stay that and go step by step, try and be consistent with it, and we feel we give ourselves a chance of doing that. I think it coming in at the start, it was quite quickly one game at a time again, and I think that's the only way. It's when you're in it and you live in it and you've got to perform, and the boys have got to be in a good frame of mind to be able to put performances together. I think the only way to do it and give yourself the best chance is to stay in the moment, and it's for everybody else to get involved in the discussions, maybe of what ifs and buts and bigger picture type thing. It's not for us right now, and we're happy. We're happy with the way things have gone. We still think we can do certain things better, which is a really good place to come from. But
100%, absolutely, we can still do things better.
Winning games is a good feeling, a good habit to have, and got to keep staying.
It is, but I feel the performances are slightly got to improve. We did not play well against Everton. We did not play well against Crystal Palace, but we won both of them, which is a positive, but I still want performances to improve. It's as simple as that.
I agree with that.
There was so much discussion before you came in about sort of deep-rooted issues at the club and so on. When you've come in and you've worked with this group of players, did you see the signs in there that this run of form was possible?
Again, I didn't get too far ahead in terms of what was possible at that stage. It was we had to get to work quickly and put things into practice and try and be fair to the players, to give them the right information and the right balance to go into the next game was the first thing.
Yeah, that's a shambles, people. 5 likes. I mean, you lot are moving slower than a London bus. Seriously, that's shambolic. Spurs have got to win against Palace on Thursday. They have to, Yuan. It's as simple as that. Because they are in serious danger of getting relegated, mate. Big up Adam Dar. Bosh. Big up to you, mate. Make sure you are subscribing to Adam Dar 2026, people.
But yeah, listen, I know some of the players. I know some of the players will have done more than others. Now I've got to know everybody, and I think it's a really good group. I think they're talent-wise, ability-wise, I think the boys have showed that what they can do. And then there's that balance of good habits, good behaviours, and actually.
Yeah, I can see Crystal Palace winning as well, down like sorting.
They look after each other, and there's certain times you've got to really dig in and show that good spirit and team spirit. So I can't speak highly enough of it.
Yeah, there you go, people. There's Adam Dar's channel. Make sure you're subscribing to Adam Dar, and also he's put it in himself as well. Actually, I think that might be his second channel, because he does have a second one as well.
The players at the moment.
Michael, word on Bruno, yet again, leading the way, spearheading, goal, assist. Where does he rank for you in Manchester United profiles of all the great midfielders you've had? And is it surprising for you? And secondly, how much would you...
Goodness knows, Ewan. I mean, I've had to look at their fixtures, and they got some real tough matches coming up, mate. So it's hard to say where are the 3 points going to come from.
Like to perhaps play behind him in that little pocket.
Yeah, I'll be honest, there's not loads more I can add to what we've already talked about, Bruno. You know, he's been here for such a long period of time now, and had success in different ways, and certainly individually.
I heard Spurs want to win Stanley from Chelsea. Oh, just imagine that happens.
Shown exactly what he's all about, you know, in terms of responsibility, showing up, being there, facing everything for the ups and the downs, and that, I think that sums up Bruno as a character, you know, and his consistency over such a period of time. So in terms of where he ranks in club history, that's not for me to get involved in, and it's irrelevant. But I think he's been a major plus and a fantastic signing for when he came in, and the impact that he's had since he's been here, and I'm sure that'll continue.
And a word on your counterpart in tomorrow's game, Eddie Howe, British manager who's great success. How much respect have you got for the job he's done in recent years?
Yeah, huge amount of respect for Eddie and his staff. Know some of them particularly well, so and obviously been from there originally, and it's something that I've kept a close eye on. So he's done a great job. The levels of success and periods that he's brought to that football club, and the feeling that he's created around the whole area is incredible. So yeah, I just think he's a top manager, top coach, and he'll continue having success, I'm sure.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, cheers, guys.
There we go. So that was part one in the press conference. Not much to call out on that one, really. You know, just nice, simple press conference. Let's see what part two brings.
Michael, how much came out of the team to make way for him today, and then came off the bench and he was amazing. How important will that be for you towards the end of the season? You've got that level of competition, so is that kind of cutthroat kind of challenge for the players that if you don't play well, they might get subbed off or come out, etc.?
It depends how you look at it. I don't see it as I understand what you said. I think the competition in terms of pushing each other performance-wise is important, because it just pushes the level.
It's the League Cup final on Sunday. Who will win the League Cup? You talk about the League Cup final, and that's in a couple of weeks' time, where Arsenal play Manchester City at Wembley. Charlie Patrick needs to be banished on Stamford Bridge in the stadium. Yep. Atletico Madrid advance to the Spanish Cup final. 4-3 on aggregate versus Barcelona.
It keeps you on your edge and playing on your edge, but it's not from week to week that all of a sudden we're really a fan of certain players, and then the next week you're on the bench and we don't like you anymore. It's really not that.
Yes, that's right, Danny outsourcing. Spot on.
Strengths. Ahmed's been massive for us, and so it's not a major downside that he didn't start today. He's a big player for us. So I think that's our approach to it, and the boys have been fantastic. I know we've ended up keeping a consistent team, but that doesn't mean that we can't change things around, and that means it's a big fallout, or somebody had a bad game, so they're out of the team. It's not necessarily that at all. So the boys have been really good with that and the flexibility and the rotations, and we can change things about a little bit, which is great for us to have.
Obviously, with Ahmad, he was here. Obviously, when you were with Ollie as well, he seems to come on a lot on and off the pitch.
Yeah, he's another one, Ahmad. He's such a dream to work with. You know, his attitude. He's so positive. He wants to learn. He wants to keep pushing.
I have no doubt about it. You know, the pace Ahmad shows is absolutely unbelievable. But we must not forget how poor Ahmad has been this season compared to last season, which to me is nowhere near sustainable.
He asks for more. What can I do more? How can I improve? He's desperate to do well, you know, and he's been a huge part of the team, and he will be for the. Sometimes it's the eye-catching bits and the bits that we kind of know he can bring, and then other times sometimes he's work off the ball and defending. That's huge to be able to do that for that type of player, really. So he's got a lot of attributes, Ahmad, and the way he came on today didn't surprise me because he's been so positive all week. So I've been really happy.
Just ask how Luke Shaw is.
He was just wasn't feeling well at all. So it was an illness, but it wasn't an injury.
Rather than the foot,
yeah. No, he said he wasn't feeling too well. So.
Hopefully back for Wednesday.
I hope so. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know at this stage, but yeah, hopefully.
No,
not for Wednesday. No.
Yes. Michael, so the club team played obviously a very different system than the previous manager, and a lot of wingers, out wingers, have obviously been moved on. Many people obviously associate United with out wingers, and you're obviously now playing the system that needs them. The left with Dorgu gone, you've obviously got a guy who likes to drift inside there now. Do you see that as an area, sort of left wing, that might need to be addressed in the summer, given who's gone out and given the shift now to like 4-2-3-1?
I think you're always looking at the balance of the team and the squad, really, and to give you the utmost flexibility. So it's definitely something to look at, you know, for sure. But I think the way Mateus can play that at times as well. Ahmad can do that at times. He came on against West Ham and played off the left. There's different ways of doing it, but so I think balance within the squad and trying to have that. I think we've got really good options across the front line, and we can change things in games, and we have done quite a lot actually. But sometimes subtle things, sometimes bigger things. So it's but certainly Mateus, when he plays wide 1v1, he's tough to stop.
Now Cunha, you know, I say since he's come in and that has done a solid job. Is there room for improvements? Yes, absolutely. You know, I still think he could be doing a bit better, but he's been very solid and consistent. So fair play to him.
Today, like, obviously the Luke going off, you have Mazraoui at left back, he's a right footer. And I suppose you've got a left side forward like Cunha cuts inside, you do no block and sort of pull back. I know obviously you've inherited what you've inherited, I just wonder whether that is something that the club will have to look at.
Yeah, quite possibly in certain ways, but yeah, I think we can still be dangerous, and I still think we can fill that spot. I think we've got players to be able to do it. So it's not a huge concern at the moment. We always want to improve, and we're always thinking that perfect scenario of mixing players together and connections and how it suits on the pitch. But Mateus has played that role and caused some problems and caused big problems and had big moments from that, playing wide or in.
Big up to you, Darren United. Bosh, big up to you. Good evening, mate. Thank you for joining me this evening, mate. Much appreciated. Welcome in, mate. Oi, Josh. United win 3-1 tomorrow. Cunha to Bruno 1. Very good predictions, mate. I'm going with a 2-1 victory to Manchester United because obviously Newcastle, I know they've not had the best of seasons, right? But I believe that this could be tricky because Newcastle are looking to avoid 4 defeats in a row. But the quality Manchester United have got, you know, I expect us to win this game 100%. No excuses whatsoever.
So he's doing well.
So, hi Michael again. I know you say you don't want to get carried away, but when you look at your record in charge, do you?
That's the way to do it, people. Do not get carried away, because as a fan, I'm not, I'm being very calm and chilled out.
Certainly, you've got a pretty good chance of still being here next season, being the head coach.
It's going to be every week, isn't it?
We've given it a few weeks. It's not getting the last way.
Listen, there's no getting away from the situation. Of course, it's not, and there's not really an awful lot I can say about it, to be honest. I think.
Question is, does Michael Carrick want the job full time? You should take into account and consideration. Does Michael Carrick really want it?
I love being here. I love doing what I'm doing. I've said it from the start. I'm not making any decisions for short term or quick fixes. I think that it's the responsibility, however long I'm here, to make decisions the best for the football club in the long term. So, of course, listen, winning games helps, and the boys are doing great with that. We'll just have to see where it ends up. There's not really much I can give you on top of that at the moment, really.
And just going back to Newcastle, obviously you're from the area, grew up as a Newcastle fan, but the club have struggled down in recent years. I don't think they've won with fans present since you were assisting, or Newcastle bad run at home at the moment. What do you make of them going into the game?
It's a challenging place to play, when they're in full flow and the supporters are there. I think it's a tough place, so we've got to be ready for that. It's a different kind of challenge again. I know they've had mixed results of late, but they're a good team. Eddie's a fantastic manager, and they're a real dangerous team. So I think that run of certainly what our run's been like previous, I think that's not one that I kind of look at too much, and certainly the fact that whatever form they're in going into the game, I know this game's a tough game, so we'll have to be ready for that.
Hi, Michael. Just on your own kind of coaching journey, you also had a bit of time out before coming in from Middlesbrough. You clearly enjoyed it all. Do you feel like you've got that coaching bug back since you've been here, and whatever happens here, whether you get the job or not, do you feel like your future lies in coaching or management rather than, say, TV work?
I'm not very good at that now. No, listen, I enjoy working with players. I enjoy trying to help players. The responsibility here is the whole football club, and I enjoy it. And it's a privilege to be in a position to be able to influence certain things. But I enjoy working with players and helping them, and whether that's the career, whether that's for the team, whether that's development and week to week. That's something that I just really enjoy and passionate about. So never really lost it, to be honest. Whether it's managing, head coach, whatever role that kind of is, it comes down to working with.
Big up Ryan G. Bush. Big up to you, mate. Good evening. Thank you for joining me this evening, mate. Much appreciated. Ryan G, you must be on absolute cloud 9, mate. Your team beating Liverpool tonight. That is just unbelievable. I'm shell-shocked. England's women's won 6-1 tonight. They did just right. Big up to the Lionesses. What a win. Big up. 8 likes. That is poor. Come on, people. We can do better than that.
Players and people, really, to get the best out of people and backroom staff and supporters. And it's something that I like in seeing that development and connection growing. So whether that's skills or technical skills, or whether you see the group coming together today and from a setback to be able to overcome that, it's nice when you're part of that.
Okay. Hi, Michael. Would you 100% rule out catching Arsenal?
It's true, that one.
Come on, for fuck's sake. Oh my goodness sake. What sort of question is that from the journalist? We're not in a fucking title race. What are we doing here? Seriously. That journalist, you deserve the wooden spoon for that. Honestly, we are not in a title race. I'm getting sick and tired of these people saying that. Oh, Manchester United are in the title race. Manchester United are cooking. Manchester United are back. It's like, get out of here, man. Seriously, cut that shit out. Big up England's women's, Josh Rates. Up the Wanderers, actually winning games. At least we're going down fighting. Yep. And you're now on 14 points, which means you cannot be the worst Premier League team anymore.
As well, don't you know? No, listen, you can't rule anything out in football, right? But we got to be realistic and know where it's at. I think we just got to try and keep winning games and see where there's, you know, there's, above us now, there's two fantastic teams. There's some really good teams.
They piss me off, Adam Partridge. Honestly, absolutely get on my nerves, these journalists. 16 points, Josh. It's like, just get out of here. Seriously.
In and around us, so we've had a good run. We certainly.
Yeah, you could catch Burnley, but we're not catching Arsenal. No chance. Nor Man City. So it makes you laugh. Really does.
We've got to be patient. We've got to be living in the moment a little bit. Certainly take the confidence. Wherever that's going to take us, we'll just have to see. But we'll keep pushing anyway.
One reason I asked, one reason is obviously played under Ferguson, who, you know, could never, ever give up anything. He may well have overhauled 10 points in your time out, I'm not so sure. But someone says, you know, you can play under a guy who never give up. So I'm guessing you're cooking the same stuff. Why not? You're not giving it a go.
No, he definitely glasses, you know, half full and what you can achieve more than the negative side. That's for sure. And I think that's just. That was what a half time was today. You know, them moments when how's it going to go both ways? You got to take the positive one really. And but yeah, of course, I'm being realistic about it. We have to win. We have to win a lot of football matches.
We helped you this week beating Heather in Liverpool, but yeah, I agree. You won't catch the top two, but Hurge will be a decent season considering what it's like under Amarin, 100%. Only downside is, though, Ryan G, is we're not winning a trophy for a second year in a row, which, for our standards, that's unacceptable. But finishing third, yeah, it would be amazing. You're right.
For that to happen, so we'll do what we've been doing, really, and go one at a time. And we've got one now, and then we've got a little bit of a break before Villa, so we'll go give us everything for Wednesday night.
Okay, so that's part 2 in the press conference. Again, not really much to call out, apart from that journalist saying, is it possible for us to catch Arsenal? I mean, that's a disgrace. 100%, mate. Yep. Right, now let's listen to what Eddie Howe has to say. Hoping we can have a good cup run, Liverpool again on Friday. Same stadium as well, Molineux. Crazy. Let's have a look. Right. Eddie Howe press conference.
Good morning, Eddie. Firstly, please, could you update us on Jacob Ramsey, who came out for the second half at the weekend but couldn't play on because of sickness?
Yeah, Jacob was in yesterday, trained fine, so a quick recovery from him. There's obviously an illness potentially there in the squad because Nick Voltamado's gone downhill and we haven't seen him for a couple of days.
So you'd expect Voltamado not to be available tomorrow night then?
Let's see, we give him every chance.
On Jacob Ramsey, obviously, it was a blow to lose him at the weekend. He'd scored the goal and he'd been playing well in that match. And in recent games, he's been particularly good, hasn't he? Which must be really pleasing for you.
Yeah, he's getting better and better for me. When we first signed him, I think it was really clear from the training that we were doing how good technically Jacob is. I mean, he's very rarely wastes a ball. He's really good in tight areas, and he has good athleticism as well to add to the other side. So I think he's got a little bit of everything, and it's been great to see him score a couple of really important goals for us, because I think naturally playing in midfield, I think you need to contribute in that area as well. So I think that would have done his confidence levels, those 2 goals, the world of good. I think he now feels fully here and at home and comfortable with what he's being asked to do. So I think really positive signs for him that he can only get better from this point as well.
Can I just check quickly on Tino Livramento? Is this going to be too soon for him, this match?
Yeah, I think possibly. I think he's getting closer and closer.
Livramento's been out of action for some time now. To be fair, he is a solid player for Newcastle.
I know asked a lot about him, and I understand why, because I do the same to the medical team. It's like a chain that.
It will be tough, Ryan G, because Newcastle will be looking to avoid 4 home defeats in a row.
Goes down. We're desperate for him to be back available, but it has to be at the right time. And every injury situation is not always as simple as you give a return date and the player comes back. There's always little things that can happen either way. I think.
Yep, and I expect it'd be different players as well, like a bit of a different lineup.
Slightly ahead of the schedule initially given, but yeah, he's in the last little bits of his rehab now.
Eddie, we kind of touched on it after the match against Everton, but are you able at all to put your finger on why it feels like the more winnable game you've got on paper, you look like you're struggling of late?
Yeah, big up Eddie Howe. I've got a lot of time for Eddie Howe. I really have. And I think some of the criticism he is getting is very unfair at times.
And then the tougher game, it feels like maybe the players are rising to the occasion a bit more. Is that something you've sensed?
Yeah, possibly, Keith. It is a difficult one, as you say. The psychology of sport, psychology of human beings, really. I think we have struggled in that respect in recent games. We have had the ability to raise our game. We don't want that to be the outcome, of course. We want to be consistent. We want to be our best in every game. So
Newcastle's squad depth is not good. That I think they will struggle this season dealing with Champions League and playing in Premier League. Well, it seems to be downright sorting. When Newcastle United are in the Champions League, they seem to struggle in the Premier League.
Frustration for all of us. We're trying to find solutions to every problem that we have, and there'll always be problems, even if you're winning every game, and you've got to try and continue to find solutions. So that's what we're trying to do. But yeah, that is a bit of a head scratcher for us.
What do you say to the players after that on Saturday? I know you won't have been happy, but then when you look at the next 6 days, Manchester United at home, Man City at home, Barcelona at home, I mean, there's not really too much time to breathe. You kind of just need to get on with it, don't you?
Yeah, we do. But I think we have to get the focus in the right areas. The focus has to be on what we can do better. And we've tried to always, amongst the moment of really high emotion, try and bring it back to what can help the players, what can help our next performance. Players did a really good job yesterday, and I think my staff did a really good job yesterday of trying to bring it back to that. So I think we did some good work on the training pitch. One of the rare opportunities we've had to do that. Today will be the same. And it's highlighting themes and mentality to our performance that we think will help us in our next run of games, and that's what we're trying to do.
Is there maybe a little bit of pressure at home? You've been so good at home over the years, but you're just looking at the last 3 defeats at home in games you'd have hoped to have won. Is there maybe just a little bit of pressure you think on the players there?
Yeah, I think there's always that pressure. I understand sometimes it can be build more than in other games, but I think that pressure's always there when you play for this club. So I think
there's always pressure on the players, but players are professionals and they have to remain professional and try and deliver the results to their team. It's as simple as that, no excuses.
They've become accustomed and used to that. Yes, our home form's been rock solid for so long that when you get a blip like we've had currently, it feels abnormal, it feels unusual, it feels not good. It's hurting us. So we pride ourselves on trying to give our supporters what they want, and we haven't been able to do that in recent games. And I think all energy now is towards that, and that's of course Manchester United, which will be a great game for us.
Thanks, Keith. Andy?
Well, Eddie, naturally we hear lots of opinions at this stage of a season about Newcastle United season. What emotion best sums it up from your personal perspective, Newcastle's form domestically in the Premier League?
Over the whole season or just...
Yeah, over the whole season.
I think one of frustration, really. I think when I look back at the games that we haven't executed what we want, and some of the moments in the games where we're uncharacteristically performing in a way that has cost us points. Huge frustration, because we feel we're a good team. We feel like we've made progress this season, and then we'll sort of step back from a point where you think we're moving forward. So that's been a mental challenge for all of us, because, as I said, the players want success, we want success, and we want to become the team that we want to be quicker. So I think dealing with that and being able to put it somewhere, and then focusing on how you can get better, and all the work that normally would go on the training pitch, we're having to condense into really short periods. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. I think you have to look at from my perspective, the mentality.
Yes, that's right. It was a 1-0 victory, and in the second half, we're really struggling to get hold of the ball. Newcastle were all over us in the second half, but they just could not convert.
And help the players, trying to coach them, trying to educate them, rather than sort of going more negative.
Keith referred to it there, but I mean, the run of fixtures coming up in the next 7 days: Manchester United, Manchester City, Barcelona. Is this week pivotal to Newcastle season? I know you used that word last press conference, and I've nicked it from you, but does it feel pivotal to Newcastle season?
Yeah, I mean, they're all pivotal games. But when you realize that the games that we have, I think we have to try and be positive. We have to try.
Yeah, we still had him, Adam Partridge. You're right.
We can't play with the thought of we haven't won at home for a few games. We've just got to go and attack the games and be as positive we can be. I think if you said this 4 years ago, these are going to be your next run of fixtures in the Champions League, in the FA Cup, you'd have bitten whatever off to be in that position. And we are in that position, and we have to almost play games with our brain to go, don't look back, let's look forward.
Just finally, I think it was a few years ago when the Amazon documentary was going on, and there was that team talk from you ahead of the Manchester United game, and those words, get into them. Is that going to be the similar sort of message against Manchester United tomorrow night? And also, is this the type of game, weirdly, like you were referring to, where we would see the best of Newcastle United under the lights against a side in form like Manchester United?
Well, hopefully. That's not a given. You've got to create that yourself. So every time that we've done that previously has been with the intention from the players to be that team. I think that's always our intention in every game, is to get into them, to be aggressive, to play on the front foot, to be a proactive team rather than...
Yeah, I'm going with the same score prediction as well, Adam Partridge. 2-1 win to Manchester United.
A reactive team. I think that's always in our psychology. That's always what we want to be. And hopefully we can be that team again.
Thanks, Andy. Alison, look now.
Hi, Eddie. Manchester United are a different proposition to maybe what they were a couple of months ago. What do you think Michael Carrick's done to make them so much better, so much harder to play?
I think he's tweaked things tactically. I think he's...
100% he has, because we're not playing boring football anymore. Even though performances have not been great recently, the football is still a lot more exciting than what it was under Ruben Amorim. I mean, let's get it right.
Looks like he's built a really good atmosphere there, and I think then players in a good atmosphere will...
Yeah, fingers crossed, Adam Partridge. Be great. He was. I think he would do well.
Real positive for them. You can see a big upturn in their general performance. I think they're statistically good in terms of attacking output, defensive output. So, and they've got some really good players. It's going to be a great game for us and a great opportunity for us at home to rediscover our best form.
You've spoken about the disappointment of conceding so many goals at home this season. Have you been able to figure out, I guess, why that's happening? Is it some sort of structural thing or a concentration thing or a luck thing or just how it goes?
Well, I don't think it's all season. Early season, we were excellent defensively. We were right up there with Arsenal as one of the best teams in all aspects and all metrics. We've certainly had a downturn in the last sort of 8 games, I would say. Probably coinciding with, I'm not making this as an excuse, but some big absentees in our back line, which is, don't think's helped us. But also then you have to look at the team we have, and I still think the team.
Absolutely. Get it all in the bin, Adam Partridge. All it, mate. I agree. Time for what, Josh? Absolutely. Yep, time for what, exactly. In football, you don't get any time these days.
Yeah, it was a very good team that we have to defend better as a team. And so the real focus then is on every player to contribute to that effort.
Thank you.
We'll go with Damien, George, and then Dom, please.
Hi, Eddie. You spoke on Saturday about the inconsistent Premier League form being one of the prices you had to pay for European football. When you look at the difficulties Newcastle and Aston Villa have had playing in those competitions over the last 3 years, is it almost impossible for a club outside of the traditional top six to compete at that level on all fronts at the moment?
I don't like the word impossible regarding what we can achieve, because I think that then gives everyone
Anything is possible in football to achieve. Let's get it right. I'm not liking people saying, can we win the league, Josh? Yeah, I know, Adam Partridge. It's a disgrace.
Way out on an excuse, really. I think it's difficult. Our schedule this season has been, when you compare it to 2 years ago, the schedule 2 years ago now seemed easy. When you look back in hindsight, with obviously the extra games in the Champions League, we've gone deep into the cup competitions. It's put a real stretch, not only on our sort of resources of players available to us to select, but then the energy levels and the sort of the peak physical condition for every game that the players have gone into. No doubt players have gone into games tired and fatigued, and maybe just 1 or 2% off, and that's all you need at this level to not deliver your best. I think we've been slightly unlucky with a few injuries that have really impacted us. I mean, you look, we've got 5 defenders out injured at the moment, and that's tough for any team to absorb, especially when you're playing every 3 days. So I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's difficult. You need a bit of luck that probably we haven't had.
George, and then Dom.
Morning, Eddie. Yeah, similar question, really. Obviously, other teams have played lots of games as well, but looking at this fixture, it's 45 games for Newcastle this season. It's 30 for Manchester United. How much do you think volume of...
Not 30, mate. 40. I think that journalists might want to look at the maths. 40 games for us, yeah? Because we're out in the cup competitions, and there's 38 games in the Premier League season, and we've only played 2 matches this season. Yeah, I think you need to go back and look at the numbers, mate, yeah? Dear me. Yeah, that's a shocking mistake by that journalist. Wouldn't seem for you.
matches has affected Premier League form, and if you accept that, which it sounds like you do as a kind of basic premise, how does the club get better at it?
Yeah, I think... Again, I'm not looking for excuses here. I'm not saying that because...
Yeah, I know, Adam Partridge. I mean, there's 48 games in the Premier League season, and we played 2 cup matches, you know, the FA Cup 3rd round and the Carabao Cup 2nd round. So that would make it a total of 40 games.
We've played 45. There's no way we can do certain things. But I think naturally when you use those 2 numbers together, I think we would have dropped points because of that, I think, in the Premier League or in other competitions or whatever. But yeah, managing that is, I think we've done it okay, but I just think we've been put in a position where we haven't had the luxury to rotate in positions that we would have rotated, and then players have to go again. And when we got to that situation 2 years ago, we're sort of back into that situation now, and that's not ideal. And we've seen that impact our performances and the performances of certain individual players who are giving their all for the team and the club, but maybe not able to execute their very best game. So I think that's been a real shame. But we have to navigate it better. I think we are trying to do that with better facilities, better staff, better education, better knowledge. But I think that comes with European football, and I think in some senses it's the more you do it, the better you become at it. I don't think there's any secret to that. And a lot of the clubs that are doing really, really well in both and all competitions have done that for a number of years. So we're still on the journey to being able to absorb all of those games.
Morning, Eddie. You touched on it before, but only Arsenal have a better have won more games on expected goals than yourselves this season. You spoke previously.
Oh, not this XG nonsense, please. Please, no.
About having one of the best expected goals defensive records in the Premier League, yet struggling to keep a clean sheet. Why is there such a disparity between the expectations and the reality this season?
Yeah, good question. That one can sometimes in the lap of the gods. I think when you get, using XG, I think I'm a big believer in XG. I believe it does tell a story. I think certainly over one or two games, it can have big variance, like you speak about. Over a long term, probably over a season, you'd expect the mean to drop to what it should be. So hopefully that means there's a lot more clean sheets ahead for us.
We'll go Craig, Luke, and then Charlie, please.
Eddie, you've spoken before about living or dying by recruitment. I suppose this is sort of two questions in one.
Yeah, I know, Adam Partridge. It's pathetic, mate.
Can you speak to us about that general theme in terms of how important and how impactful recruitment is, but also then specific to this season, you're coming up against the Manchester United team tomorrow, who signed 4 players in the summer, who have all impacted. You look at their win at the weekend, and all 4 were lauded for their contribution. How do you then compare that to some of the struggles you guys have had? So yeah, 2 questions in one, really: the general premise, but also specific to this season.
Yeah, I mean, recruitment is everything, and I think was that my quotes? Live or die by recruitment, was it? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very good. Because I believe in that. I think if you get that wrong, it's very difficult to have the success that you want. I think, again, with recruitment, I think you've got to take a longer term view, because I think you can take a very short term view and make big assumptions that could be wrong. So I think if you take a long term view of our recruitment, certainly since I can only speak since I've been here, I think it's been excellent over the piece. I think when you look back, you can, percentage wise, I'm not sure there'd be a club that would have the success rate that we've had. Then you look at, of course, short term, and you can make, as I say, mistakes. I think you've got to look at over a longer term period if you're going back to the summer for us. And of course, there's question marks, and of course, people have different opinions. But just case in point would be Jacob Ramsey. Just give players a bit of time to prove and their worth and to settle into what we asked them to do. I think there's a lot to take in there. So I think Manchester United, as you mentioned, I think have recruited really well. The players that you mentioned, I think, are outstanding players that we were, of course, aware of in the summer. So well done to them. I think for us, I'm really happy with the new players.
Because I'm sure Newcastle were interested in Sesko, weren't they?
That we've got, of course, they're all in different journeys to reach their best level. I believe they will get there. I'm really happy with the squad, but of course we've got work to do to be at our best level.
Luke, and then Charlie, please.
Probably leads on quite nicely from Craig's question, actually. But what's the situation, Johan Wissa? Because he probably hasn't had the impact that we were expecting him to have.
Yeah, I think I've said many times regarding Johan's situation. He didn't train a lot during the summer, so obviously had a gap there in his physical preparation for this season. Then picked up an injury on international duty. That's very, very difficult to adjust to mid-season because as I said before, I think repeating probably the quotes that I've used before regarding this, you have a 6-week pre-season for a reason to get players adjusted and ready for the new season. We haven't been able to do that with him. But he's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of fitness work. He's just come back from a recent injury as well. And we're hoping his best moments are ahead of him. And certainly he's shown a great attitude to his training. He's really, really motivated and keen to do well for the club and to repay the club and the supporters for everything that they've given him. Yeah, that's the situation with him. I don't think it's an ideal introduction for him coming here. I think it's been a tough period for him.
Thank you. Charlie?
Eddie, the Germany manager, Julian Nagelsmann's come out and said he's had a chat with Voldemort about his form. He's told him to relax. When he first arrived at the club, he was confident. Has that taken a knock in recent times? And have you managed to have a chat with him about his form and the situation he's in right now?
Yeah, as I said, I speak to the players, not necessarily on a daily basis, but I'll be having meetings with them throughout the week on various things, usually associated to their game and trying to help them reviewing games. I've done a lot of that with Nick. I think Nick's in a relatively decent place with his game. It's so funny how one performance or one bad game can suddenly bring a string of or a cloud around a player. I think Nick's performances, if you look at them again with a more...
I think Nick Pope has been a very good goalkeeper for Newcastle. I know he's made a couple of errors recently, but he's still been a good goalkeeper. Good morning to you, Michael Chelsea FC. Bash, good morning to you, mate. Thank you for joining me this morning, mate. Much appreciated. How you doing? And people, yes, make sure you are joining us on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. because my geezer is coming on my channel to talk about F1, which I cannot bloody wait to do that.
Holistic viewpoint, I think it's been excellent in recent games. I've been pleased with him. Yes, he's maybe not getting the goals that he was in the early season, but I think his all-round game is better than it was. So I'm sort of oblivious, as I said so many times before, to the outside opinion. I would be saying the same as his national team manager, to not necessarily to relax, but to carry on enjoying your football, play your way. He's got outstanding qualities. I think he'll only get better for us as time goes on.
Thank you. We'll go Lee Ryder and then Kieran, please.
Eddie on.
I'm good, bro. Can't wait for F1 to start again, mate. I can't either, and I watched the highlights, by the way, the IndyCar race. I thought it was a very good race, but Mick Schumacher's so unlucky, wasn't he? I mean, for him to go out on the opening lap, I mean, just, what a disastrous debut. Hopefully, race 2 will bring him better luck, but that was no way his fault whatsoever. Unfortunately, it was a racing incident, but also I watched your reaction as well, brilliant.
Sort of loyalty to players who continuously get picked. What stage does it get where you have to do something sort of drastic? Because there's a couple of players who have been struggling of late. There's a World Cup on the horizon as well, so I guess you have to manage all that. But at what stage does it get to the point where you do something drastic selection-wise?
Yeah, the loyalty to players, that makes it sound like you pick players based on what they've done previously, and that's not the case. I'll always pick players that I think will give us the best chance to win the next game. So that's really a simplistic view of how I see it. They've got to train to the maximum level. I'll always judge the next training session. As I said, I'll judge them off their last game. And if I think there's someone better to pick, I have to pick them for the benefit of the team. So that's my view on team selection.
Check on Nick as well. Obviously, there was this sort of narrative after the Everton game. I know you say you don't look at social media, but there was this sort of narrative that he was almost at the centre of all the blame for what happened. He got the 14 touches. What do you do to a player who may be experiencing that? Because the players do look at social media sometimes as well.
Are you talking Nick Baltimore there? Yeah. Like I said, that's news to me. I will have discussions with players about social media, not necessarily about what the narrative is. There's other people at the club.
It is what it is. There's plenty more races to come where Mick Schumacher will make his mark. 100%, 100%. I agree.
That, of course, do have their eyes across that, because it'd be lazy of us not to. But it's not something that a world that I can go into, because if I go into that and I read it and I absorb it, my opinions will be swayed by nonsense. So I'll prefer.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie Howe. I agree with you on that one. It will be, because we all know what social media is like at times. So I 100% agree.
My opinions to myself, based off my own eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to go about it.
Nick's doing well. I would never overreact negatively or positively towards one performance from any individual player. It's always about the longer term and making sure they're continuing to improve.
I mean, all players have bad games, It may be just a one-off in that, but for them to be getting abuse in that after making an error, it's just, there's no need for it, man. Honestly, it's a disgrace.
Of course, Nick's got stuff to work on, and we're working on with him. But I'm happy with him.
Time for one last one. Got Kieran, please.
Morning. Do you think the club will have to recruit a little differently this summer, do you know, compared to last summer and previous windows, or do you kind of see it as a similar combination of overseas signings and Premier League proven players again?
It depends what you mean. Are you talking where we sign players from? I think we've got a very open mind. I don't care where we sign players from as long as they're good enough to take the team to the next level. What club we're signing, what league we're signing them from is irrelevant to me. As long as we've got the information on the player, we've been tracking him for long enough to have a really good, strong, stable opinion on what they are actually like and whether that player can adapt to the Premier League. The country we're signing is irrelevant. Of course, price and availability and all the other factors that you take in. There's so much that goes into it. But certainly I'm very open-minded in terms of where we're signing players from. And I think we've proved that with the players that we've signed since I've been here.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. What Eddie Howe said earlier on. Yeah, that's facts to me. He's talking spot on. Yeah, that's facts from Eddie Howe about social media. It's best to just at times keep your opinion to yourself, isn't it? And go along with your own views. You know, don't get influenced by anybody. Let's get it right. Always speak your own mind. That's what I do, people. I always speak my own mind, you know. Nobody influences me or puts the pressure on me whatsoever. Let's get it right. Nobody will ever be able to tell me how to support my beloved football club, yeah? Let's get that fucking right at the end of the day. Anyway, people, that is the end of tonight's show. We are going to be redirecting now to African King Academy. He's on with Liverpool Prophets, Vigilante, and Roster Stocks, their weekly show. So make sure you are subscribing to all the channels who are on the panel. And yeah, people, we are out of here. And don't forget, Glazers out, Ineos out, and brown envelopes in the bin as well. And I will see you for the live watch-along of Newcastle against Manchester United. Cannot wait for that. We're out here, people. Bash! Don't forget, Mr. Joshy J. Raid. And make sure you are subscribing to all the people who are on African Kings Academy channel, people. Bash!